Too deep. Da da dun 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 dun. Da da dun dun dun. Da dun 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 dun. Yeah. Everyone asks how I'm doing, like there's a finish line I crossed, like grief has a clean expiration, like there's a moment it gets lost. But I'm in the after of the after now, the part nobody really names, the quiet stretch beyond the breakup songs, beyond the blame. This isn't the falling apart part, everyone already watched that scene. This is the after of the after, the part that's harder to explain, to glean. I'm in the after of the after, where the tears don't come as much, where I'm fine most days, mostly, but still French at certain touch. This is the after of the after, the unglamorous unwitnessed part, just me rebuilding slowly in the quiet after the after of my heart. Nobody checks in anymore, they think I'm long past due to heal. This is the after of the after, where I'm doing it for real, not performing fine for an audience, just actually getting there somehow. This is the after of the after, and it's quieter but it's real right now. The first after gets the casseroles, the sympathy, the gentle check-ins, the grace. This after gets nothing, just me alone in this space. But this is the after that matters, this is where the actual healing's been. This is the after of the after, where I finally start to mend after the after. Nobody's watching, and that's alright. After the after, I'm doing this part just for me, just right. After the after, slowly becoming something true. After the after, I made it through. I made it through. I kept your coffee mug in the cabinet, never use it, never threw it out. It just sits there like a painting, a still life I don't talk about. Everything's frozen where you left it, some kind of quiet memorial, a still life of us unmoving, even though time keeps moving on. After all, a still life isn't about stillness, really. It's about choosing what to keep in frame, choosing which moments matter enough to paint and hang and never change. This is my still life, a fruit gone soft, the flowers turn to dust. This is my still life, ain't it beautiful, even as it rusts. I'm not afraid of the stillness anymore. I'm learning how to let the picture move. This is my still life, and maybe it's time I painted something new. I'm taking down the still life slowly, one frozen frame at a time, donating the coffee mug finally, letting new colors color outside the lines. A still life can become a memory instead of staying frozen on the wall. This is my still life, becoming something I get to choose after all. Maybe stillness was never the point, maybe it was just a place to rest, before I learned how to move again, before I painted something better, something blessed, with color, with motion, with living instead of frozen, instead First came the laughing and the loving and the fighting and the fear, then the slow and quiet leaving that took longer than a year. I used to think love had an order, a neat progression, point to point, but grief doesn't follow any sequence, it just shows up out of joint. I grieved you before you left and missed you after you were already gone. I loved you out of order too, loved you most when you'd already moved on. This is the order of things, except there isn't one, not really. Grief doesn't wait its turn, love doesn't leave neatly. I'm angry and I'm fine, and I'm angry again. That's just the order of things. Messy out of sequence, never clean. That's just the order, that's just how this sings. I thought I cried first and accept, thought healing had a script to follow. Instead I'm laughing in the middle of crying, feeling whole and feeling hollow. All at once, all out of order, nothing lines up like it should. This is the order of things, even when it doesn't look good. Maybe there's no right way to lose someone. Maybe grief just does what it wants, skips ahead, circles back, lingers in places you thought you'd already moved past. This is the order of things, disordered, chaotic, true. This is the order of things, and I'm getting through it, even out of order too. The order of things doesn't have to make sense to be real. The order of things is just however I happen to feel. Out of order, out of time, still somehow getting to the other side. The order of things is just me doing my best, just trying. I gave back the hoodie, the books, the keys, handed over everything with your name on it. But there's a list of things you'll never ask for, because you don't know that I kept it. I kept the way you said my name, soft like it was something rare. I kept the version of myself that only existed when you were there. Some things don't go in boxes, some things you don't return. I kept the parts that mattered most, the parts I had to learn. This is what I kept, not the stuff, not the things you can't replace. I kept the growth, I kept the lessons, I kept the better version of my face. This is what I kept, after giving everything else away. This is what I kept, and it's enough to start a brand new day. I kept the courage that I found somewhere in the wreckage of goodbye. I kept knowing what I won't settle for. I kept the strength to ask why. I gave back everything that was yours, but some things only ever belong to me. This is what I kept, even after setting both of us free. Maybe that's the only inventory that matters in the end. Not what we built together, but what stayed once I let it bend and break and rearrange itself into something I get to call my own. This is what I kept, and it's more than I knew I'd ever known. This is what I kept, quiet, steady mind. This is what I kept, after everything I'm doing. Your voice comes through, broken now, like a radio losing signal, station fading out. I used to know every frequency. Now I'm just catching static full of doubt. We used to come through clear. Now there's interference in between. Every word a little distorted. Every call a little hard to keep clean. Maybe distance does that to people. Turns clear signals into noise. Maybe we're just losing the frequency that used to carry both our voice. All I get is static now. Where there used to be a song, static. Where the conversation used to carry on and on. I keep trying to tune you in, but some stations just go quiet, go away. All I get is static now, and maybe that's okay. I used to memorize your wavelength, could find you in a crowded room. Now I can't even get the clear signal through the static, through the gloom. Maybe some connections fade out naturally. Maybe that's just how frequencies go. All I get is static now. Where I used to know, you used to know. I'm turning off the radio. Stop trying to catch a signal that's already gone. Some stations sign off for good. Some songs just don't play on. All I get is static now, but silence might be easier somehow. All I get is static, so I'm finally turning the dial down. Static, fading into nothing now. Static, learning how to let the silence sound. Static, turning off the radio tonight. Static, finding my own frequency. Finally, alright. I used to be the whole page. Now I'm just a note in the margin of a story you keep writing. Without me, without consulting. I used to take up so much space, center of every single line. Now I'm just a footnote, barely there, a reference to another time. It's a strange kind of shrinking, going from the whole story to the side. Watching yourself become a margin note in someone else's life. I live in the margins now. Small, but still written down. Not the headline anymore, just the quiet faded sound. I live in the margins now, of a story that moved past me. I live in the margins now, but at least I'm still part of the history. Someday she'll find an old photo, ask who that girl used to be. You'll say, just someone from before, and that'll be the margin note of me. I used to think that would destroy me, being reduced to a footnote, a name. Now I think there's something peaceful in not needing to be center stage, and not needing to say maybe the margins aren't so bad. Maybe there's room there to breathe. Maybe I don't need to be the whole story to know that I'm added to believe. I live in the margins of your life now, but I'm the whole story of my own. enough this time. We didn't end on a single night. There was no door slam, no final scene. It took months of slowly leaving, long before either of us could see. We said goodbye in increments, a little less each time we spoke, a little more distance every weekend, until the silence is all that's left, all that broke. Nobody warns you that some endings don't arrive, they just slowly seep into every conversation till there's nothing left to keep. This was the slow goodbye, the kind that doesn't have a date, the kind you don't see come and until you're already too late. This was the slow goodbye, stretched out over the better part of a year. This was the slow goodbye, and somehow that's harder, that's so much harder, my dear. I keep trying to pinpoint the moment when I should've called or should've known, but slow goodbyes don't give you markers, they just quietly leave you alone. One day you wake up and realize it's already over, has been for a while. This was the slow goodbye, the kind that doesn't get a final smile. Maybe slow is its own kind of mercy, easier than a single brutal blow. Or maybe slow just means more suffering, stressed out, dragged out, slow. I don't know which one is true, maybe it's both, maybe it's neither. This was a slow goodbye, and I'm still learning how to leave it here. The slow goodbye, finally reaching its quiet end. The slow goodbye, I made it through somehow, my friend. The slow goodbye, no fireworks, no dramatic final bow. The slow goodbye, just quietly, finally over now. I used to think I shine because of you, reflected something that was yours, like I was just the moon to your sun, borrowed light, nothing more. But standing here without you near me, I'm still catching people's eyes. Turns out some of this was always mine, I just never tested it outside your light. It's strange to learn your own brightness after thinking it was always land, after thinking you go dark completely the second your source was spent. Turns out it wasn't borrowed light, turns out some of it was always me. I'm still glowing without you here, maybe even brighter, maybe even free. Borrowed light, that's what I called it, but I think I had my own all along. Borrowed light was never quite the right name for this song. I'm finding out what's mine to keep, what doesn't dim when you're not around. The parts of me that don't need witnesses just to make a steady kind of sound. I thought I'd disappear without you, yeah. Thought you were the only light I knew. Turns out I'm still here, still shining, even with some distance in between, even without you. Maybe all light starts as borrowed from somewhere, from someone, from the start, but eventually it becomes your own, burning steady in your chest, in your heart. I'm not afraid of the dark anymore. I know now I carry my own flame. Borrowed light was just a phase, was never my real name. Yeah, yeah. was past the worst of it, standing steady, feet on solid ground. Then a song came on, a certain smell, and the undertow pulled me back down. Grief doesn't move in straight lines, it moves like water, like the tide. Some days I'm fine, walking the shore, then the undertow takes me by surprise. Nobody warns you healing isn't linear, yeah. Nobody tells you the waves come back. Just when you think you found your footing, the undertow pulls you off track. This is the undertow, pulling me under when I thought I'd found the shore. This is the undertow, I didn't know grief had this much more. I'm learning how to swim with it instead of fighting against the pool. This is the undertow, and maybe that's just part of getting full circle. I used to panic when it happened, think I felt it healing somehow. Now I just let the wave take me under, trust that I'll come back up somehow. The undertow doesn't mean I'm drowning, it just means the water's still alive. This is the undertow, and I'm learning how to survive. Maybe grief is just an ocean that never fully goes still. Maybe I'll feel this undertow for longer than I want to, longer than I will. But I'm a stronger swimmer now than I was when this began. This is the undertow, and I'm learning slowly how to stay undertow, pulling less than it used to somehow. Undertow, I'm still standing even now. Undertow, part of the water, part of the sea. Undertow, and I'm still here, still swimming, still free. Yeah. Nobody died from a paper cut, but God, they sting more than they should. Small enough that no one notices, still bleeding more than anyone thought you could. That's what missing you feels like now. Not the big wound, not the dramatic scene, just small cuts from ordinary things. A song, a smell, a street I walk between. It's not the breakup that gets me anymore, it's the thousand tiny things after. A receipt with your handwriting, a joke I can't tell anyone, any laughter. These are just paper cuts now, small enough that no one else can see. Paper cuts from ordinary moments that used to mean nothing, that used to be free. I'm not falling apart anymore, I'm just bleeding a little quietly in small ways. Paper cuts, that's what's left of you these days. I'll be fine for weeks at a time, then a paper cut catches me off guard. A song on shuffle, an old receipt, a name that still gives me pause, still hits hard. These cuts don't need stitches, they just need time, they just need air. Paper cuts heal eventually, even when you don't think they're really there. Maybe this is just what healing looks like after the wound itself has closed. Just small reminders here and there, little stings nobody else really knows. I'm not bleeding out anymore. catching paper cuts sometimes. Paper cuts, small proof that you were once mine.